Clipper Nation, welcome into Intuit Dome. I'm Adam Osland. Pregame show starting in about 13 minutes from now. Happy Halloween. You can check out the Halo board here. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns. Second time in just about a week. Of course, the Suns playing spoiler to the Clippers in their first ever regular season game here that went into OT after a Kevin Durant step-back jumper over Amir Coffey. A little help defense there by James Harden. Not enough. Clippers have yet to win in this building as things have become real in the regular season. Trying to get their first tonight after losing last night 106-105 to the Portland Trail Blazers. Chat, let me know if you can hear me in here. Just want to make sure we're up and working. As I put the tweet out at follow Adam A, you can get to me there. I did see Kevin Porter Jr. earlier wearing some Joker makeup along with some dyed green hair. Wonder if he's coming onto the court like that. Can he have the makeup on? I don't know. I don't know how these things work. It was a pretty decked out costume. Of course, saw Bones Highland on Halloween. He was out here getting up some work pregame. Marcino Johnson said we can hear you. Thank you, Marcino. Appreciate it. Welcome into Intuit Dome. And again, happy Halloween, Clipper Nation. Watching David Fizdale as KD puts up some work on the right baseline. Just getting up jumpers. 74 minutes till tip-off, but just about 10 minutes from now, we'll start your Clippers Countdown pregame show, as we always stream now on the YouTube side as well, here at Clippers Talk. Carlo Jimenez will join us. Tomer Azarli will be on the show today. Farbad Essenshari is dressed up as Joe Dirt, by the way. I saw him pregame. Impressive costume. He's always decked out for Halloween, whether it's Borat or Joe Dirt today. This Clippers team, though, has a lot of work to do right now at 2-2 with the upcoming schedule. OKC will be here on Saturday. It is game 2 of a 5-game homestand here at Intuit Dome, so their first ever in this building. But they're starting things off 0-1, and that Portland Trailblazers game last night a little bit concerning. Clippers just did not execute well enough down the stretch. It was James Harden with the basketball, and they were loading up on him, throwing different defenders. And the Portland Trailblazers were more physical than I think a lot of people thought they were going to be. It's a team that we expect to be at the bottom of the Western Conference, but they can nip at your heels a little bit and do more than just put a scare into you on Halloween. They can beat you. Obviously, so can the Phoenix Suns, one of the best teams in the Western Conference that looks to be off to a hot start right now. Their big three doing damage. KD up to his old tricks with shooting splits that are just ridiculous. I think he's at 50, 45, 90 right now. It's just absurd. Devin Booker starting to get it going. They had that big win over the Lakers at home recently. Came back down to 18. Like seeing that. Don't want to see that tonight against the Clippers. As this Kevin Durant workout with David Fizdale, take that for data, continues here. If you guys want to check it out, these are the perks of the behind-the-scene look here on Clippers Countdown. Before we even get into it, actually, on Clippers Talk on the YouTube side. You know, Kevin Durant's longevity doesn't get talked about enough. Grayson Allen out there as well. Tyus Jones. KD, now I believe 36 years of age, is an absolutely phenomenal special athlete that has been through a torn Achilles and has come back and looked pretty much the same. You know, he doesn't get downhill as much as he used to. And yeah, he just turned 36 in September, but still a threat to score at all three levels. And when you have that level, or when you have that height to you, as he does, he's 7 feet tall. He's not 6'9". He's 7 feet tall. Watch him next to somebody like Mason Plumlee or Yusuf Nurkic. You can see it. In fact, it was exposed with the Golden State Warriors a few years back when he was still up in NorCal. I think it was Draymond who called him out. He said, "You're 7 feet. Get off that. You're 7 feet tall." Just one of the freakiest athletes and basketball players of this generation. similar to the Iceman in some ways, but the ability to rise up and his age or his game will age gracefully because he can get his shot off and it is still silky smooth as ever. In fact, I want to check on these Kevin Durant shooting splits here. Let's see what we got. Currently, he's at 53% from the floor, 46% from three, 81% of the charity stripe. So he can get that up. But, I mean, last season, the efficiency was off the charts. People forget because obviously they were taken out early in the first round in 4 games by Minnesota. But on 27 points per game, 53% shooting, 41% from distance, 86% at the charity stripe. He is one of the greats. Fun to get to see him again in person tonight here at Intuit Dome. We got your pregame show starting just about 7 minutes from now. I'm Adam Osland. If you're not aware of the show, every pregame and postgame show now will be here streaming live. If it's a home game, I'll be here at Intuit Dome. If it's an away game, I'll be in Burbank with the stream. There's different settings and things we can do depending on the setting. No costume for me. My consistent joke is just I'm going as a competent broadcaster today. That's my goal. Big brother Jake gave me the the BS laugh, the charity laugh. Is that Grey Poupon, sir? Do you have any Grey Poupon? Yeah, I didn't eat earlier. I don't deserve to after what happened late last night, 1 a.m., eating McDonald's on Clippers Talk After Dark. It is shameful. And, like, it's one thing if I was a Dodgers fan and I'm celebrating and I'm having a good time. I didn't deserve to have McDonald's late last night. I didn't deserve to eat anything late last night like that. Right before I went to bed, I had nightmares all over the place. People said that would happen too. Maybe that's why I had them. People in the chat were like, oh, that's nightmare fuel right there. McDonald's right before you go to sleep. I was being chased by the Hamburglar. Ronald McDonald, I mean, there's a clown as the mascot, so right there you can have a nightmare. I did love It Chapter 1, the new version. Chapter 2 sucked. Link said, Suns are on a roll right now. Hope we don't get blown out after that lackluster performance last night. I agree with you. Clippers have to start fast. They have to bring the same intensity and focus as something Coach Lou talked about pregame. I didn't get a question in today because somebody beat me to the punch talking about Kevin Porter Jr. And Coach Lou regarding KPJ, who's in Joker makeup for Halloween tonight, did say he needs to make the simple play. He snatches it back too much with the handle, even when he already has an advantage on the guy in front of him. He mentioned, though, that he can get by anybody. He can create. They see the high-end talent. I don't think he's being benched anytime soon. Did see Jordan Miller in the Stay Ready game earlier with Kobe Brown. Was watching him put a post up at Clippers Talk on the TikTok and at Clippers Talk Follow Out of May on Instagram. If you want to check that out, Jordan Miller getting to the hoop. Sky Jones with a big throwdown as he was getting in his pregame work as well. So I don't know when Miller time is happening, guys. But I know I made that a subject earlier today on a show. If you want to go to the live section and check that out. Is it Miller time yet? Are we there yet? They need help offensively? I don't know. You never know. Suns get up big early on. Coach Lou's looking for some energy, wants to inject some life into the game. That's one scenario I could see it happening. I'm going to need a bigger Coke. Oh, look at Carlo Jimenez. Also not dressed up. Big brother Jake didn't dress up either.
I'm dressed up as a washed-up West Coast 90s rapper, okay?
That's every day.
Exactly. I'm a washed-up 90s West Coast rapper.
Tim Duncan clothing line.
That's right. Tim Duncan, baby. Pre-game.
Zach, what are you dressed up as? Is that Winter Soldier?
He's dressed up as Bucky.
Bucky O'Hare? Who's Bucky?
Bucky?
Chucky? Or Bucky? Sam Sanatorium said, our defense is too good to get blown out. Not saying it will never happen. We are tempting fate already. And check out my notes. Silence. All right. So going from Coke Zero to Diet Coke. I've been drinking way too much Diet Soda. I understand. I'm concerned too. I said I'd never get addicted. I don't see it. I got it. I still don't know who Bucky is. I mean, this does look familiar. Gas station chain? Yeah. I know. I mean, it's a good costume. Welcome into Clippers Countdown and happy Halloween. So I got a scary story to tell you. The Clippers tonight are going up against a three-headed monster and a nemesis that has beaten them 3 times in the playoffs and just defeated them here in their first ever game at Intuit Dome a week ago. As it is the return of the Phoenix Suns tonight, who have been like a black cat crossing the Clippers' path from left to right over the seasons. As Kevin Durant, the Durantula, and his dark magic would knock down that jumper over 2 defenders in this very building opening night, and it may have put a hex on the Intuit Dome because the Clippers haven't won here since. Okay, so maybe they've only played 1 game here since, but I did come here last night and see the Clippers fall by 1 to the Portland Trailblazers and Anthony Simons, who looked possessed and on demon time late in the 4th quarter. Here was Coach Lou on that. So either execute or be executed, as Halloween is upon us, and I'm desperately resisting saying whether or not it will end in a trick or a treat for Clipper Nation tonight. So I'll just put it like this. Let's make this a haunted house for any opponent that dares to enter, starting tonight against the Phoenix Suns. Tip time from the dungeon, the Intuit Dome, is just 58 minutes away. Coming up, Coach Lou will be here We'll have Tomera Zarley on from Clutch Points, but up next, it's your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. The Shizzle Bedizzle says, expectations for KPJ. Play better? The last two games were better than the first two, guys.
He's got to hit some threes.
He definitely needs to knock down a three. He hasn't hit one yet, right?
He is 1 for 13. Our boy Terrence Mann, though, is 0 for 6.
Oh, he banked in a three.
Yeah, he did.
That's the one.
Using some window. Using some window.
To the walls. William Blast says last night's loss left a nasty taste. I get it. It's like one of those Jelly Bellies. That's the weird Harry Potter barf flavors or whatever.
We don't want those.
Carlo Jimenez is coming up next, guys, if you didn't know. Then Coach Lou. Then we're going back in time. Then Tomera Zarley. There's a lot happening here.
You said it was a sprint, and you weren't lying. You dog.
Anybody got an extra soda?
Dude, get those Ollie Pops. Those are like fake sodas. They're good for you.
Are they really?
Yeah.
They clean out your gut, bro.
They're like healthy sodas.
They have probiotics?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
What?
Yeah, they're good too.
What?
You
Yeah,
know,
dude.
I'm a soda drinker, bro, and it's good.
That's
Is
how
it
they
still
mark.
open?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how they mark. Here, I'll go get you one. What flavor you want?
Really?
Yeah.
I thought I saw a grape the other day.
Yeah,
I'll go look. But have your phone by you. If they don't have grape, I'm gonna text you the other flavor.
Surprise me if they don't.
No, that's like the worst. Because then what if
know.
you're
Yeah,
disappointed?
I'm not too picky.
No.
you're not too picky.
If they have a cola.
You're not too picky,
Cola?
Okay. Me?
bro. Don't lie to the people that you're talking to right now. I'll put you on blast.
Jake Warner, the truther. He ain't lying. I'm picky in particular. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns here at Intuit Dome. Happy Halloween, everyone. Tip-off just about 57 minutes away. This is Clippers Countdown. I'm Adam Osland. This is the official pregame show of your Los Angeles Clippers. Coming up, you're going to hear from the head coach in Teron Liu. But first, let's bring in your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez, and we'll ask the obligatory, what's your favorite candy during Halloween, Carlo?
Ooh,
That's
great
the question.
question. That is a great question. I think also tells a lot about a person. Reese's peanut butter cups, baby, all day, every day.
Too easy.
There's
Come
nothing
on,
better
man.
than a little chocolate, a little peanut butter. You know, it's sweet. My number 2. Can I give a number 2?
You can go number 2. Just don't say Three Musketeers, all right?
Ooh, Milky Way. Milky Way is my number 2. Underrated. It's like a Snickers without the peanuts.
What about a Milky Way Dark with the marshmallow in there? How do you feel
Ooh,
about
that's
that?
a good one. That's a good one.
Okay,
I
okay.
can get behind that.
I'm with you. The Reese's peanut butter cups are tough to beat. Now, back
Thank
in
you.
the day, I would have said a Starburst fruit twist, but they got canceled for whatever reason in the late 90s, even though I loved them.
Wait, candy got canceled?
Some candy, Starburst fruit twist. They had their
Why?
own licorice brand of Starburst. They were a big
Oh.
deal. It was better than anything Surge gave us in the soda variety. Like, they shouldn't have canceled my... Sorry, I was about to swear on the air.
Uh-oh.
All right, let's move on. Clippers taking
We're
on
live,
the
my
Phoenix
man.
Suns tonight here at Intuit Dome. Tip time just 56 minutes away, but let's go back to what happened last night here. Scene of the crime, the Clippers lost by 1 to the Portland Trail Blazers and lost on the final possession, which turned into a turnover, as both losses so far in just 2 games at Intuit Dome have both ended in a turnover by the Clippers. What did you see on that final possession there, Carlos? The Clippers just weren't able to execute.
Yeah, James Harden just didn't put enough air under that basketball at him, and Ivica Zubac couldn't seal off DeAndre Ayton. And credit to DeAndre Ayton, he's been excellent so far for this Portland team. That was his second 3 late in that game on the season. He had 1 all of last year. He got a couple of stops down the stretch. I think, though, for the Clippers, it's an opportunity to steal a game at them in which they were unable to do so. We'll see if they have a chance to maybe figure out a way to use that as fuel here tonight. But overall, a game they probably feel like they should have won. Chris Taylor told us 2 made field goals in the last 5.5 minutes for the Clippers. that is a tough pill to swallow when you lose by 1.
Yeah, it felt like a game where the Clippers, I talked about it after the first time out. They weren't getting Ivica Zubats involved early. They weren't able to late on that inbounds play. He didn't take a shot within his first 6.5 minutes out there on the court. A little bit surprising, and he was back to taking just 7 shots total in the ball game. That's about what he averaged per game last season in shot attempts. We want to see Big Zoo get involved more. It just didn't happen for whatever reason yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know why the Clippers couldn't find him more, whether Ivica Zubats wasn't clamoring for the basketball or he wasn't trying to find space. It felt like Big Zoo had more opportunities underneath. He just didn't attack the rim, maybe take it downhill and get to the iron. So we'll see if he's able to be more aggressive today. He was uber aggressive against this Phoenix team last time, and you hope that translates here today.
Ivica Zubats looking to bounce back. Some of the other Clippers in the ball game that did play well, Norman Powell with his 30 points and I believe 5 3-pointers. Norman Powell has been exactly what has been asked of him really in the starting lineup as the starter now for this Clippers team, providing that scoring punch and doing so effortlessly out there in a very efficient way, which is what we expected from Norman Powell, always off the bench, but now he's doing it with the starting 5.
Yeah, Adam, he had 3 30-point games with the Clippers over the last couple of seasons. He's got 2 to start the year this year for the Clippers in just 4 contests. So very efficient, taking over as that offensive punch. It's almost the same role we saw him play with the bench unit. I mean, you think about when he would come into ball games, he would just be an electric lightning bolt to this offense. And now instead of us having to wait for the 6 to 5 minute mark for that lightning bolt to come, it's just right off the gate. Here comes Norman Powell, ready to juice up the offense. So Norman Powell, I think everyone's been impressed with the way he's able to play offensively. But the defensive effort, which the coaching staff continued to emphasize throughout preseason, had to be the same as the offensive effort, has been there. We've seen Norman Powell save a couple basketballs. Saw him dive into the front row yesterday, get a big block last time the Clippers were in this building against Phoenix. Norman Powell makes winning plays so far for this Clipper team. I'd say, Adam, he's probably been the most consistent and best Clipper through 4 games this season.
Yeah, I agree with you. I felt like Kai Jones had his best game in the regular season so far yesterday, and also an incredible move, taking it to the basket, driving to his right, little crossover. So doing it all with the playmaking a little bit here and there. We've seen that in the regular season, but just taking a guy off the dribble at that height, it is special and a unique talent, a unique athlete they have in Kai Jones at the backup center position.
Well, Kai Jones said this offseason he wants to dunk everything. He has 5 made field goals. They're all dunks. He is not lying. He wants to dunk everything. He is dunking everything right now for this Clippers team. He continues to shine when he's got an opportunity to play against a bigger and slower big man. I feel like he plays better against more traditional bigs. You think about the good games he's had, Adam, against DeAndre Ayton, a more traditional back-to-the-basket big, against Yusuf Nurkic here in Phoenix, a more traditional back-to-the-basket big man. So hopefully another opportunity here for Kai Jones to excel on the offensive end. He's had to step up. Again, we don't really have a timetable for Mo Bamba. We haven't seen him in preseason. We haven't seen him at practice really warming up. The Clippers just waiting for him to get healthy. And Kai Jones has been a blessing in disguise. You think, Adam, back to last year, he's almost the Daniel Tice of this season. The Clippers, Mason Plumlee goes down. All of a sudden, you have no backup big. And here comes Daniel Tice, who was sitting on the bench in Indiana, bailing out this Clipper team for about 20 games while Plumlee was out with that injury. Kai Jones stepping up in a similar way here today.
Mason Plumlee back in the building tonight, wearing Phoenix Suns gear. Of course, the Clippers taking on the Suns. The tip time is just about 52 minutes away. Carlo Jimenez is on the call. Coming up next, we got to let him go. He's got his one-on-one interview with the head coach in Tehran. Lou, happy Halloween as you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. William Blast. Zoo didn't show up. Most improved can't do that. Outplayed by Ayton. Too many missed free throws by everyone. It's small things and the details for this team to win without frontline players. Like, it's one game so far where Zoo, yes, had a very bad ball game. He also wasn't getting touches out there. I think you got to tell the entire story a little bit, William. It's just Zoo has to do his part, demand the basketball. Guys also have to get it to him. He is dependent on that. And while there were doubles early and they were trying to push him out of the paint, as Coach Lou said post-game, it's not an option to get Ivica Zubats involved. It is a necessity. Yeah, he also needs to knock down those free throws late. I agree with you. David R. said hopefully they play inside out tonight and get away from the system ISO ball. So get away from one of the best to ever do it with high pick and roll isolation with James Harden. Like I don't know how to explain this one any further. Maybe somebody else can help me. William said Kai Jones is definitely a spark. Agree with that. You guys talking candy. Mikey Lapp said Twix. That is probably a top 5 candy all time. Agree with you. The Cookie Crunch, caramel. It's a 1 seed, I'd say. William Blast said KPJ played much better and he wasn't credited with one of his baskets. What do you mean he wasn't credited? He scored 6 points in both halves, only given credit for 10 points. Let me double check on that one for you. Only being credited by who, William? I believe he was 5 of 11 total yesterday. So yeah, he had 10. Why do you think he had another basket? He also had 5 turnovers in just 15 minutes. So while he played better, it still is not where it needs to be at all right now with KPJ. This is Halloween. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns here in Inglewood at Intuit Dome. Tip-off just 49 minutes away, just the 3rd ever game played here. I'm Adam Oslin. Welcome back in. This is Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your Los Angeles Clippers. Still to come, we'll get to your player to watch, and we'll go back in time in Clippers Rewind. But first, we're going to head back over to your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez. There was Coach Lou pregame with Carlo Jimenez as the Clippers are taking on the Phoenix Suns. Tip-off just 47 minutes away here at Intuit Dome. Happy Halloween, everyone. Coming up next, we're going to go back in time in Clippers Rewind and take things back to 2006 right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. William, this ain't 1940s. They didn't miss a bucket by Kevin Porter Jr. in the stat sheet, my friend. I remember the step back he had in the 4th quarter. He also had 1 bucket in the 3rd quarter. That was it. Yeah. Yeah. It's the one from game 1 of 2023 playoff series against Phoenix that we used. Okay, cool. Thank you. Well, come on, William. I mean, there's like video evidence of this stuff now. It's not the Wilt Chamberlain 100-point game. Nobody's making a mistake like that with gambling in today's game, which is, more and more embraced by the NBA. It's kind of important, 2 points. It kind of means the Clippers would have won had they gave him that shot that you're saying they didn't give him. It's all good, William. Appreciate you. Peace, William. As you always throw me off with that when you come in here. I always think you're leaving. You just got here. Why are you saying peace? He had a nice dish to Kai Jones early in the fourth quarter. Nice assist, Kevin Porter Jr. But like, if he had cut the turnovers in half or only had 2, I would say he had a really good game. You played with D-Mac? I love Don McClain. Believe it. Hey, if you can't shoot, you can't play. Just ask Don McClain. Somebody's watching me. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns here at Intuit Dome. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Moslin. Tip time is just 44 minutes away. Still to come, we'll get you your player to watch. But first, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind back to May 1st of 2006. Top of the box office was United 93, along with RV and Silent Hill. Okay, we got one scary movie in there. Top of the Billboard charts was Bad Day by Daniel Powter. And the Clippers were in a game 1 against the Phoenix Suns. Elton Brand with those 40 points and 4 blocks. Sam Cassell with 28. Corey Maggette with 20. And the Clippers shot 60% from the field, but the Phoenix Suns were showing off the power of the three-point shot back then under Mike D'Antoni. They would hit 12 to the Clippers 4. 12's not even a lot nowadays, but the Clippers only making 4 and not taking many at all. And so they would lose to the analytics of the Phoenix Suns, 130 to 123 in that game 1 in 2006 in that second round series against the Phoenix Suns. Nash also had 31 in that game. It would eventually go 7 games. Clippers could have won it in 6. There were some misplays, but that was a great Clippers team. One of my favorites ever. Sam Cassell is one of my favorite players, and Elton Brand was an absolute beast. At his best, at his peak of his powers, as Brian Seaman would say, before the Achilles injury. Just a phenomenal player. 40 and 4 blocks in that game 1. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns tonight here at Intuit Dome in 2024. Tip-off is 41 minutes away. Up next, your player to watch. I'm Adam Osland. Happy Halloween as you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. 35 points from D-Mac. Believe it. Flying Squirrel. I love Don McClain. Scott Tran wants to ask, do you choose the games to highlight? How do you choose for Clippers Rewind? I try to find a connection between the team they're playing tonight. So went back to 2006, that playoff series against Phoenix. I know they played a couple of times since then. Evil Bot said, hello, chat. And Adam, the casual admin. My guy's trying to get a timeout right away. I know he's trolling me. Trolling is allowed on Halloween. Troll 2 is definitely allowed. One of the best, worst movies of all time. If you guys want to check that out. Evil Bot was made for Halloween. This is his time. The time is nigh. Yeah, I just look for connections, try to find highlights from a previous game between, or the Clippers are taking on tonight. And of interest, guys, it looks like the Phoenix Suns once again will be going up against the wall in the second half. Now, Kevin Durant ended up missing 2 free throws in game 1 here at Intuit Dome last week that got everybody Chick-fil-A, and that was all due to the wall. The only problem was the Suns ended up hitting 10 straight free throws, I think, in overtime. They only made 1 shot, but 10 straight free throws. The wall wasn't able to affect them quite enough in OT. And the Clippers would lose that game by 3. 116, 113, I want to say. Is that right? It was disappointing. Can they get their first victory here at Intuit Dome? Please. Please. You guys want to see the wall right now? Everybody's dressed up over there. Fans are, you know, on LA time. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns. Tip-off is just 39 minutes away, Reptile. Coming up, we will get back to Carlo Jimenez, and Tomer Zarli from Clutch Points will be here. But first, Am I the only one that worked out with the Mortal Kombat music back in the day? Avitsa Zubats is going for, I don't know if it's going to be a friendality. He's trying to put this Phoenix Suns team away and bounce back in a big way after disappointing yesterday against the Portland Trail Blazers, where he only got up 7 shots, 2 of 7. He was from the field in 31 minutes, just wasn't his usual aggressive self. Guys weren't featuring him on the offensive end like we had seen the first 3 games of this young season. Big Zoo has to get going, has to get touches offensively early and often. 12 rebounds is nice, but just 6 points in that game against Portland. If it was 2 more, they still would have won, obviously, as they were looking for him on that inbounds play from James Harden. But DeAndre Ayton with the deflection, and the Clippers would fall 106 to 105 right here at Intuit Dome last night. I got to see Big Zoo touch the ball 3 of the first 5 possessions, at least in the first quarter. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns tonight in this second game of a home back-to-back. Tip-off is just 37 minutes away, and coming up next, we'll get to your injury report right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Your soul is mine. Uh-oh. Carlo Jimenez brought me something. Oh, a grape, dog, grape. I love a grape soda. They both for me?
Yeah, this is the best flavor, but since you wanted grape, I also got grape.
You don't like the grape? This has prebiotics?
Yeah, bro, they're good for you, man.
I finally got something good for me.
You need it.
Tastes good?
Drinking too much soda, buddy.
I know. I got a problem. It's heavy. This can of soda
It's
is
good
heavy,
though.
dude.
It tastes
Ouch.
just like soda.
All right. Wow, already getting trade hard and stuff. This place does need to be louder than yesterday. I agree with that. Zoo's still missing a lot of chippies. I mean, I don't know. I saw him hit a left-handed hook shot over a double team against Golden State over the weekend, where he more than held his own against Jokic. Vitsa Zubats has been spectacular so far, William. He's had 1 bad game. And part of it is because they didn't get him the basketball. They didn't feature him. Big men are dependent on smaller guys looking for him. Yeah, I follow Hoop Jab. Shizzle Badizzle said no one on this team can throw a lob or inbounds pass except Harden. Oh, I think Nico Batum can throw a lob and an inbounds pass. Hey, Ace, I got news for you. Halliburton isn't a player. I think you mean Halliburton, and they would not trade someone. They're not trading for a 35-year-old James Harden. Wow. Zach Ocaldi bringing out the hits. Yes, I've always wanted a Green Ranger costume to wear on Halloween. That is my ideal Halloween costume. And actually, I was looking at the bidding going on for the original Green Ranger costume worn by the late Jason David Frank online, but it got to like $6,000, and I could not afford that. Someday, maybe. Happy Halloween. Welcome back into Intuit Dome. I'm at a Moslin. Tip-off just 34 minutes away. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns. Coming up, we'll get back to Carlo Jimenez, and Tomer Azarli will be here. But first, your injury report is brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code KLAC to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. For the Clippers, no Kawhi Leonard, no Mo Bamba still. Kawhi Leonard, of course, out indefinitely at the moment due to that right knee. Clippers, Suns, tip-off, just about 30 minutes away. And up next, Tomer Azarli from Clutch Points will join me right here. But before we get to that, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on your Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Coming up, more pregame. It's the official show of your Los Angeles Clippers. Clippers Countdown. I'm at a Moslin, live at Intuit Dome. Happy Halloween. You're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Yeah, I had to give Ace the timeout. I just can't take all the ridiculous comments. Trade Harden for Halliburton. Evil Bot wants me to cut out the sugar. I'm not drinking sugar if it's diet soda. It's not real sugar. Oh, that Mexican Nara said, let's hope we can get a treat from the Clippers tonight. William, he was shooting over 60% from the floor. I think that's pretty efficient, my guy. Zubas was being very efficient. What are you talking about? See, this is where the eye test goes wrong. Oh, he missed a bunny, and now I go back to what I've always thought about Ivica Zubas, that he misses too many easy ones, even though he's one of the more efficient players in the league. It is inherent bias, and I don't like it because Big Zoo has been a good player. And let's see, 8 of 13 his first game, 11 of 17, 10 of 19, 2 of 7 yesterday. He's had one bad game. He's still at 55% from the field even after yesterday. I agree with you. He's got to seize the moment. They have to get him the ball, William. He didn't touch it. He didn't get a shot up the first 6.5 minutes of the first quarter yesterday. He looked frustrated. Evil Bot said, yesterday's loss hurt me so bad. They need to get the first win tonight. Please, please. I agree with you. They need to. Get off the snide here at Intuit Dome. I don't know if Tomer Azarli's coming. Yeah, I think he is now. Said he's walking over. It's all right. I got to feel different. Carlo Jimenez is not going to be happy, though. He's going to have to get up from his seat. You guys want to watch that happen? Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns here at Intuit Dome. Happy Halloween. Tip-off just 30 minutes away. I'm at a Moslin. This is Clippers Countdown. Still to come, we'll get back to your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez. We'll also get to a league look around in your drive around the league. But I do want to talk about this Clippers team and more on what happened last night in their 106-105 loss to the Portland Trail Blazers, where the Clippers, well, they gave up too many second chance opportunities to Portland, who took more than just advantage of them. I believe there were 9 of 15 on second chance buckets. They had 22 points on second chance opportunities. The Clippers just 12. So 10 more points when it came to those second chance plays. And Portland was great there. They were fantastic. They played some really good defense, a lot of physicality out there. They were able to wear down James Harden a little bit as he was bringing the basketball up the floor. As Tomer Azarli is set to join us from Clutch Points here. But this Clippers team, it still felt like they had all the opportunities in the world to be able to put that game away. And quite simply, you can't miss 5 free throws in the fourth quarter. You can't have 4 turnovers in the fourth quarter. The loss was well earned. Tomer Azarli is going to join me here if we can get situated with our musical chairs issue going on. If you guys are watching on the YouTube side, Tomer Azarli, of course, from Clutch Points, reports on the Clippers there. Tomer, thanks for joining me here on Clippers Countdown.
Thanks for having me, Adam. Good
You
to see
sound out of breath. What happened, my friend?
Out of breath? Not at all. I wasn't rushing here. No way. That's good.
Dressed up as what? Your regular reporter for the
Clown
Clippers?
tee. Clown tee. I even got the clown shoes.
Well, oh, okay. Those shoes are fire, actually. Show
Thank you.
that to the camera here on the YouTube Live. Oh,
Donovan
these are
Mitchell.
nice right here.
Adidas Don issue 6s.
Woo! Donovan Mitchell of the 5-0 Cleveland Cavaliers,
Yes,
who
sir.
just beat up on the Lakers yesterday.
Oh,
I'd
you
be
were
wearing
drinking
those too. Did I have to put that in there? Okay. Let's talk about this Clippers team as I was talking about last night's game. They lose 106-105 to the Portland Trail Blazers. What did you see on that final possession on the inbounds pass? Should they have gone to Norman Powell, who was open, 3.9 seconds left, probably could have made something happen. DeAndre Ayton did make a great play, but how did you view that one?
Yeah, that was tough. I feel like, it probably was a bit of a forced pass by James over to Zoo. I think Norm obviously had it going. They didn't go to him as much down the stretch, so a bit surprised to see them go away from him the way they did, but I didn't hate it. It felt like a forced pass. It probably was there maybe a second earlier. Just a bad read, I think. Simple as that.
Ivica Zubac, to me, has to be involved early and often with this team. For him not to get a shot in his first stint, the first 6.5 minutes he was out there, we know they were trying to conserve his energy because they had a back-to-back. They're taking on Phoenix tonight, but they weren't even looking to force things his way when some of those doubles or guys shading over from the Portland Trail Blazers were trying to stop him and deny him from getting the basketball. To me, it's just not an option. You have to get Ivica Zubac involved now because no Kawhi, no Paul George. He's in Philly. They need him desperately on the offensive end.
Paul's in Philly?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're going to be here November 6th as well.
It's pretty soon. No, I agree with you. I mean, I think part of what we're seeing, though, is the adjustment. Teams are going to adjust to Zoo. They're not going to let him go out there and score 20 every game on him. They're going to start throwing some doubles out there. He's been really good as a passer in that short roll. So, teams are going to adjust to that. I think it's on Zoo and it's on the rest of the guys now to figure out how to better put him in better places to succeed. Maybe I think we saw in that fourth quarter against the Warriors, they overreacted to a fake of his, one dribble dunk. And that's an adjustment of a kind right there. So I think as long as the Clippers continue to adapt, see what coverages are being thrown at Zoo, what they're doing to kind of take him out of the game. He's not going to score 20 every game. I think we know that, but he's fully capable of it. So I think those standards should kind of be, I think that should kind of be the standard, but fully, accept that teams are going to try to take him out of their game, especially because Zoo's a huge part of what they do, leading the league in rebounding, averaging 20 points a game. So he's going to be a focal point for sure.
James Harden, of course, is the guy that sets the table out there. Struggling with his shot right now. The efficiency isn't where it typically is for him. You talked with him in the locker room yesterday. I texted you earlier today. But post-game, he said season legs is going to kick in. That wind, that second wind, is that what they're waiting on right now with James Harden, and eventually those shots will start falling more at a higher percentage?
Yeah, I mean, he said he likes the shots that he's getting. So, and I think they've been good. I think getting to the mid-range, conserving his body by not attacking the basket a little recklessly. So going to the floater more, I think it's been good. I think just like every other player, though, you kind of work yourself into in-season shape over the first 10, 15 games. I don't think anyone really comes in 100% ready to go. given that NBA action is so hard to replicate. So I think James did come in, expects to be in the best shape he's been in 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. But I think there is a progress point here where he's got to get to, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, and then we'll see. I think the better part of James. He's getting good looks. Really not much more than that. I think all the looks he's gotten for the most part have been great. I think maybe just the dribble isolations that go a little late in the shot clock you probably want to reduce a little bit, but other than that, I think he's gotten great looks. They're just everyone's kind of working their way into game shape.
It's Halloween. Did you see Kevin Porter Jr. earlier? Why so serious with the Joker face on?
Yeah, so he dressed up as Joker, but he also warmed up with the Joker face paint and the hair. I tweeted about it earlier. I was surprised. I've never seen anyone actually warm up in that.
I don't think the hair is changing before the game starts. The makeup may be off.
I actually want to see if they let him play with that, with the makeup. And it's not really hurting anyone, right? It's not an advantage. So
it's not. I mean, the powder from the makeup could get in someone's face or something like that, like it's a smoke bomb or sand in the eyes.
And if he shoots like 3 for 10 again, we might have an actual issue on our hands. So.
Well, let's talk about that. It's just 4 games in. Now, he did shoot 5 for 11 last game. He was better, but still had 5 turnovers in 15 minutes. Have you seen progress from him? And what exactly is the coaching staff looking for from Kevin Porter Jr.?
Yeah, Kevin's an interesting case because there's clearly talent there. It just hasn't resulted in, team success, in other guys' success, and even individually. Like, the thing is, I think, what was it? I think it was Denver where he missed 2 dunks, and he shot like 1 of 7 or something like that, one of 6. So,
but he was a plus in the plus minus, so that means he had a great game, right?
Well,
can't trust it in a single game.
So that's the thing. You have to really just weigh everything together. I think. Look, he hasn't played NBA basketball in a long time.
Yeah.
I don't think they really prioritize team basketball in Houston when he played there. So, again, it's like, how much has he actually played team basketball with the aim at winning? Like, I don't think he's done that in a while. He didn't play much in Cleveland. They didn't do that in Houston. They didn't really have a system. So, like, there's a lot of bad habits that I think I said this last time we talked. There's a lot of habits you got to kind of weed out and slowly bring in more of the team habits. And, when I talked to Ty in the preseason, he talked about how he wanted to just let Kevin play his game, see what he liked to do, what he didn't like to do, and then kind of get in there and then help him adapt to certain things. Tell him, hey, we need less of this, we need more of this. So I think that's kind of still crept in here. I think he still does good things. He's been in a couple passing lanes, got some steals, gave Nico a dunk the other day. So he's done some positive things. I just think, the 5 turnovers in 15 minutes are just way too much. I think Ty talked about it today, just making the simple pass, not overthinking, not overplaying. So there's a lot of things that go into it. I think they'll give it like a 15 and 20 game sample just to see what he can do. But I think it's still an adjustment. He hasn't played NBA basketball in a year, and he hasn't played winning basketball to help a team win in I don't know how long. So
when it comes down to those 10-game sample sizes we talk about all the time with Coach Lou, where he really wants to get a good look at the analytics, a good look at the film, and see what's happening there and let guys build up some continuity before he makes a decision or see if they can build that up. Do you think any of that is dependent on record? Because let's say the Clippers started 2-6, 2-7, something like that. Would then there be more of a sense of urgency maybe to make a change?
I mean, I think you can judge it on wins and losses, but I don't think you solely judge it off that. I think there's certain lineups that work well together, certain lineups that don't. So, like, I think there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, clearly the KPJ, the bench lineups have been a problem, and Kevin himself has just not played well. But I feel a lot of it to me just feels like he's forcing a little too much, or he's just taking shots outside of what the team kind of needs him to. So, again, I'm not really too worried about it yet. But the problem is, like, are you surviving his minutes or are you thriving in his minutes? Like, it's okay if you're, even with him on the floor, neutral, but you can't be a negative 8 points every time.
Well, lineup with him next to Chris Dunn, Nico Batum, Amir Coffey, and Ivica Zubac has actually been pretty good. They're a net positive right now. They did lose their minutes by 2 last night, but heading into that game, they were plus 10 and I think 14 minutes. There may be something to that, but I agree with you. Imagine what that lineup would be if Kevin Porter Jr. was actually knocking down shots more consistently and not turning the ball over.
And, I mean, you also need a good few games, 100 minutes or whatever, to see what a team can do. In that, you can't judge it off a 20-minute sample size. Like, that's not enough time to do anything.
Yeah.
So you need a good chunk that you can kind of, and maybe it comes to the point where like, hey, you know what, Kevin, clearly we're not really winning or thriving with you on the court right now. Let's go somewhere else. Let's maybe
Yeah.
go to Jordan or someone else and see what we can do there. We'll come back to you. I think we've seen that all the time. We saw it with the Warriors the other day. Steve Kerr literally said before the Clippers game, Lindy Waters is going to help us. He's not in the rotation right now, but he's going to help us win. He just helped them win back-to-back games against the Pelicans with Steph out. So, like, you've seen that all around the league. Guys have to stay ready, and I think everyone's time will come.
He is Tomer Azarly from Clutch Points. Follow him at TOMERAZARLY for great Clippers coverage. And if you're a sneakerhead, you definitely want to check these bad boys out. Can you
want me
please
to show
stand
them
up
again?
for me? Yeah. Can you model this?
All right.
Can you turn around here for the
we
YouTube
go.
Live?
Don
shot?
issue 6.
Woo!
There you go.
These are fire. Clipper
Shout out
Nation.
Adidas for these.
You want to be watching on the YouTube Live side to check out the sneakers. Maybe I'll take a picture of it and put it on Twitter at follow Adam A. But Tomer, appreciate you doing this on Halloween. Great
Thank you.
job as always. We'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate it.
I mean, there's a homestand going on, so real soon, actually, on Saturday.
You
like
let me
that
know.
soon.
You do me Saturday? I'm here.
You
I'm
hear
here.
that? He just booked himself. I like
here.
it.
I'm here Saturday.
Taking the initiative. Coming up next here on Clippers Countdown as we are just about 19 minutes away from tip-off. Happy Halloween. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns, looking for their first victory here at the Dome. The Dome is home, Intuit Dome. I'm Adam Oslin, and coming up next, we got an NBA out-of-town scoreboard right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Jay says, "What up, Adam? Me and the family are straight across from you." I just got a photo of Tomer Azarly's shoes. I'm going to tweet it out. Wait. Okay, I spelled his name right. Evil Bot, you can most definitely be a casual. Jay is waving the bright red shirt. We at center court a couple minutes ago. Definitely a core memory for me and my son. That's awesome, Jay. And Zoo is way bigger than I imagined. That's the fun part about coming to games. Like, some players look bigger on TV, some look smaller. Zion looks huge in person compared to on TV. You can really, in person, you can tell kind of the different body types a little bit more. Hey guys, what's up, chat? Frankie Boy 9 said, Adam, how's the vibe right there? Are there people on the wall? Yeah, but it's still pretty sparse right now. I got to be honest with you. I know it's Halloween. Dodgers just won the World Series. A lot going on in LA. I think some people don't realize NBA is back and things are started. I know Clipper Nation, though, will be filling this place up over the next half hour or so before the game starts. I believe. What the hell was I about to do? Yes. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns from Intuit Dome. Tip-off is just 17 minutes away. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Oslin. This is the official pregame show of your Los Angeles Clippers. It is Clippers Countdown. Coming up, we're going back to your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez. But first, let's get to your drive around the league, brought to you by Toyota's electrified lineup, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, all electrics, and even fuel cell electric vehicles. So you can choose exactly the type you need for your lifestyle. We make it easy. Currently, right now, at the half in Utah, it's the Jazz on top of the Spurs, 53-47. But Victor Wembanyama already has 17 points 24 minutes into that ball game. In Dallas, a battle between two teams in Tejas. That would be the Dallas Mavericks, who are down 80-59 to the Houston Rockets at home. Şengün, who just got paid, has 17 and 11 with 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Kyrie Irving with 18 and 6 for the Mavericks, who trail by 21. In Memphis, it's the Grizzlies up 115-94 over the Milwaukee Bucks, who are struggling. Giannis Antetokounmpo has 37 and 11, but the Bucks, they're going to fall to 1-4 and 1-3 on the road, as Memphis is not relinquishing that lead, 20 points, with just 2:55 left in the fourth quarter. Ja Morant with the triple dub, 26, 10, and 14. Up next, as we are just 15 minutes away from tip-off, we'll get back to Carlo Jimenez. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns here at Intuit Dome. I'm Adam Osland. Happy Halloween, as you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Oh, God. Evil Bot is going into full casual mode. Will you trade Kawhi and 2 first-round picks for Giannis, since Giannis is not good with the Bucks? This is a good troll. I kind of love Evil Bot. This is borderline what some of the stuff I get asked is sometimes in here. I think he beat Ace Kemp to the punch. He was just about to ask this. Love y'all. Frankie Boy 9 said, heck no, Kawhi's untouchable. They don't even have 2 first-round picks to trade. They have 1. Nor would, of course, the Milwaukee Bucks ever do such a thing. What will happen there is if they get off to a slow start, I'd be concerned for Doc Rivers. And they are off to a slow start. Wait, was Evil Bot serious about that? No, Evil Bot. No. Zach O'Caldy's in the chat, our producer, pointing out that, Harden and Giannis may still not like each other, since Harden said he just runs and dunks. Ace Kemp says trade Leonard and Harden. To who and how? Shizzle Badizzle asked that. Ace will come up now with something terrible, most likely. That makes no sense and isn't realistic whatsoever. How do I know this? He's already been in timeout. But that's okay. Get some youth, yeah. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns here at Intuit Dome. Some Adams Family music on the way in. Happy Halloween. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up, we'll get to your keys to victory, but first, let's bring back in your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez. So, Carlos saw this Phoenix Suns team just about a week ago, opening up Intuit Dome. They got the 116-113 overtime win over the Clippers. What have you seen since then? Because this was a team that just came back down 18 against the Los Angeles Lakers at home, and they are now 3-1.
Yeah, this is a team, Adam, that is a little different than maybe we thought with the way they're constructed. The Phoenix Suns are the 6th-ranked team defensive rating-wise. They hang their hat on the defensive end. They're 17th in the offensive side. So a Suns team that came in with all that superstar power, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, playing together for the first time to start a season, and yet it's their defense that's been the difference for them so far this season, holding the Lakers to 105 in their last win. They have been excellent so far on that side of the basketball. Mike Budenholzer also has got them shooting at him a lot more threes, something they were calling for this offseason. They wanted to shoot the 3-ball more. They're shooting, I think, around 35, 36 a game this season. So for the Clippers, you have to defend the 3-ball, but also these are 2 defensive-heavy teams today, something you probably wouldn't expect when you look at the personnel on both sides.
Yeah, it should be a fun one. Should be a nice back-and-forth defensive battle. Ivica Zubac, talked about him a lot. He is my player to watch, of course. I want to see him get going against this Phoenix Suns team again, where he was very good opening night against them. Was good 3 out of his first 4 games so far, but the Clippers have to look for him. I like the matchup, though, against Yusuf Nurkic, and if he gets any minutes against his former teammate Mason Plumlee.
Yeah, and look, Nurkic has struggled a little bit to start the year, Adam. Just had 2 points in 15 minutes last time, and Devin Booker had to come out and say, hey, look, he's going to be okay, but has turned the ball over. He's 1 for 11 from the three-point line, 0 for 7 since playing the Clippers. So if you're Kai Jones, you could almost sag off a little bit, force him to shoot the three ball, might play to his advantage. Curious to see how Nurkic tries to get back into a rhythm. Zubac has always played him well. Nurkic, by the way, has always played Zubac well. Zoo had his career high against Nurkic on opening night with that 23-point game. So for the Clippers, how do you figure out a way to get Kai Jones involved? I like calling out Kai Jones. I think Terrence Mann has to take a step forward for the Clippers. Hopefully he can stay out of foul trouble. Felt like that's really been the Achilles heel for him. Looked like he was going to get into a rhythm yesterday against Portland, but picks up the quick fouls early. Can't really find an opportunity to play consistent time without having to be worried about committing a fourth and a fifth foul. We'll see if somebody like Terrence Mann can find a groove on the offensive end. Clippers, though, Adam, it's all about the discipline. Can you not turn the ball over today? Can you hang on to the rock? Can you get back on the defensive end? Something James Harden mentioned last game as he throws up a half-court shot. Can the Clippers do the right things today and make Phoenix beat you the hard way?
And we talked about it last night, but the little things turn into big things for this Clippers team. Death by paper cuts, missed free throws, second chance opportunities for the Portland Trail Blazers, where they had 22 points when it came to second chance points. That is a really big number. They made the Clippers pay whenever the Clippers couldn't close out possessions. They simply have to be better in that area. But this Clippers team, I want to see how they react now with a back-to-back after sweeping the back-to-back over the weekend on the road, first in Denver, then in San Francisco against the Golden State Warriors. How do you react at home against a tougher opponent on paper than the Portland Trail Blazers, but a Phoenix squad that also they know and are very familiar with?
Yeah, and the Clippers a chance to maybe cement themselves as a team that's not going to let things bleed over into the next game with the way they were able to take advantage of that game in Golden State. Warriors came into the rest advantage. They had been excellent all year with the rest advantage, and yet the Clippers were the ones out of the gate stronger. And for me, the key today is going to be the second quarter. I was doing a little research earlier, but the Clippers have the lowest point total in the NBA in second quarters this season, and it starts with that second unit that starts that second quarter. Can they get going a little bit? The Clippers had a big lead against Portland to start the game. The second unit guys come in. All of a sudden, Portland goes on a big run to end the first quarter. That continues into the early parts of the second quarter. How do you play the opening 12? Yes, but how do you play the 12 minutes before halftime? I'm really curious to see.
Yeah, I want to see that focus from the Clippers on the defensive end for 48 minutes again, because you mentioned it. The Portland Trail Blazers had a 12-0 run and an 8-0 run in that second quarter alone, a run to end the third quarter, a 7-0 run from Rupert, the Frenchman, from the Portland Trail Blazers by himself in the fourth quarter. It was just a lot of those runs stacking on top of one another, adding up to a win for the Portland Trail Blazers by 1 at 106-105. Clippers have to lock down and get back to some Clamp City defense tonight against the Phoenix Suns. Tip-off is just 8 minutes away. Carlo Jimenez is on the call here from Intuit Dome. Happy Halloween. I'm Adam Osland, and coming up next, we're going to get to your keys to victory right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Chris Benavidez, I love you, bro, but the Wizards are not doing that. They can get more for Kyle Kuzma than that. His contract de-escalates. It's a very fair contract. They could get a first-round pick for Kyle Kuzma, my friend.
You should have a Clippers talk rule where you can only propose like 4 trades per show. So once you hit your trade cap, it's like, sorry, no more trade proposal talk, guys.
I just hit him with a timeout whenever there's something so ridiculous it makes my brain melt. Like, this guy's saying they could trade PJ and Terrence Mann for Kyle Kuzma. Like, Washington's not doing that. Like, bro, that's not a bad contract that Kyle Kuzma is on.
Come on, guys, let's be realistic.
That's what I want. That's all I want. That's all I've ever wanted. You guys hear that? Carlo has spoken. Adjust accordingly.
Come on, guys.
Coming up, keys to victory, and then I will be leaving you until post-game here on the Clippers Talk YouTube. It's been a fun one. A lot of visuals. I'll show you the warm-ups going on right now. There's Big Zoo.
Ryan Dunn getting the start.
Misses the lob from Kai Jones. Ryan Dunn getting the start. He's been good. So Kevin Porter Jr. kept the hair green but took the makeup off for the Joker. Still looks pretty awesome. Oh, Jordan Miller there with the reverse layup in the layup line. Yeah, Fashizzle Badizzle said it. They want first round picks. Their timeline is way out there right now. It does not help them to get Terrence Mann, who's already 28. Now we got somebody wanting to trade for Kuminga. They're not doing. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns. Tip-off just 5 minutes away here at Intuit Dome in Inglewood. I'm Adam Oslin. Happy Halloween. Coming up, Carlo Jimenez is on the call. But before that, let's get to your keys to victory. Clippers have to start things off right, running that high pick and roll with Big Zoo and James Harden working in tandem. That is the foundation of their offense. That is the foundation of having a system in James Harden. High pick and roll, he's mastered it. He's devastating in that. He makes the defense have to make a decision there. And he and Ivica Zubac have been doing work when the Clippers have been successful this season running the high pick and roll. They got to get to it early in the first quarter against this Phoenix Suns group. All right, here we go. It's Carlo Jimenez on the call from Intuit Dome. Clippers and Suns, and tip-off is coming up next right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Great pregame, Zachary. I didn't do anything.
Great pregame, Adam.
Whatever, Carlo.
Oh, we're good. Oh, shoot. Oh, there we go.